Greetings and welcome back to another episode in our series of 1,000 Evidences for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. In this one, number 185, we'll talk about the changes going on in the church. Critics claim that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is false because it has changed some of its policies and procedures over the years. Just as growth is an indication of life, so is change a sign of a living church. The absence of change and growth is a sign of stagnation or even death. The Lord commands and revokes. We know that. The changes in the LDS Church are not unprecedented. Anyone who criticizes the LDS Church for its few changes is also condemning the Bible at the same time. It would be good to consider the biblical precedents of change because the Bible is our standard and our guide, and it's the common denominator between our church and all other Christian churches. For example, the Bible states that God saw that all his creations was very good. That's in Genesis chapter 1, verse 31. Yet later it says that he regretted making man. That's in Genesis chapter 6, verse 6. By the way, Latter-day Revelation indicates that it was Noah who regretted that God had made man, not God himself. In ancient Israelite culture, the birthright was to go to the firstborn. Yet Abel received it instead of Cain. Isaac received it instead of Ishmael, who was the firstborn. Jacob instead of Esau, who was the firstborn. Joseph instead of Reuben, Ephraim instead of Manasseh. In one of the Ten Commandments, God forbade killing, yet he commanded Abraham to sacrifice his son in Genesis chapter 22, verse 2. Yet he rescinded that commandment in Genesis chapter 22, verse 12. So here we have change going back and forth. The Lord said he was going to consume the Israelites, but Moses talked him out of it. And the Lord repented of the evil he thought to do unto his people. That's in Exodus chapter 32, verses 10 through 14. The same verse in the Living Bible reads that the Lord changed his mind and spared the people. The Lord told Isaiah to tell King Hezekiah that he was about to die. Yet, when the king prayed for more time, the Lord decided to add 15 years to his life. That's in Isaiah chapter 38, verses 1 through 5, and 2 Kings chapter 20, verses 1 through 6. Animal sacrifices were to be a statute forever, according to Leviticus chapter 7, verse 34, and chapter 16, verses 33 and 34. But they were done away with, according to Hebrews chapter 7, verse 27, and chapter 9, verse 12, 26, and verse 28. At one time, divorce was prohibited, as stated in Luke chapter 16, verse 18, but it was later allowed in Matthew chapter 19, verse 7 through 9. A very strict Sabbath was imposed in Exodus chapter 20, verse 10, and Numbers chapter 15, verses 32 through 36, and several other scriptures. But it was later liberalized, according to Matthew chapter 12, verses 1 through 13, and Luke chapter 13, verses 11 through 17, and several other references. The seventh-day Sabbath was to be a perpetual covenant, according to Exodus chapter 31, verses 13 and 16. But it was to cease, according to Lamentations chapter 2, verse 6, and Hosea chapter 2, verse 11. Circumcision was to be an everlasting covenant, according to Genesis chapter 17, verse 9 through 14. But it was discontinued, as stated in Acts chapter 15, 1 through 9, and in Romans chapter 2, verses 25 through 26, and several other references. The Lord decreed that Nineveh was to be destroyed in 40 days. That's in Jonah chapter 3, verse 4. There's no condition mentioned. However, the people repented and the city was spared. That's in Jonah chapter 3, verse 10. Now, the prophet Jeremiah candidly admitted that the Lord can change his decrees and not destroy a city if it repents. That's in Jeremiah chapter 18, verses 7 through 10. And the prophet Jeremiah added more information to a previous revelation in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 36, verse 32. Missionaries were not to go from house to house, as stated in Luke chapter 10, verse 7, but later they were told to do so, according to Acts chapter 2, verse 46, and chapter 20, verse 20. Missionaries were to go without purse or scrip, without staff or shoes, according to Matthew chapter 10, verse 9 and 10, and several other scriptures. But later they were told to take purse and scrip, according to Luke chapter 22, verse 36, and to take staff and sandals, Mark chapter 6, verse 8 through 9. At one time, missionaries were to take a sword with them, as in Luke chapter 22, verse 36. But later, they were told not to do so. That's in Matthew 26, verse 52, and other scriptures. Jesus forbade his disciples to take the gospel to the Gentiles and the Samaritans, as stated in Matthew chapter 10, verses 5 and 6, and several other references. But later, they were to take the gospel to all nations. That's in Matthew 28, 18 through 20, and several other scriptures. However, a little later, the missionaries were forbidden to go into Asia. That's according to Matthew chapter 16, verse 6. And eventually, there were churches that were set up into Asia. Revelation chapter 1, verse 4. As you can clearly see, change is a part of all living things, including a living church. The truth is obvious. Deep down in the bottom of your heart, you can feel that the LDS Church is the true and correct, and it's the source of happiness in this life and salvation in the life to come. It has a familiar ring to it. I love it. The true gospel of Jesus Christ has blessed my life in innumerable ways. Thanks for watching. And don't miss any of our future episodes. And remember, call, don't fall. Call on the Lord of true and living church. Don't fall for the peddlers of doubt and stagnation.